myself, I'm Tamar, national contact point for Horizon Europe. I'm also the national contact point for the missions. I'm the European Bauhaus contact point, and as well, I'm the national contact point for the culture, creativity, and food and agriculture. So, what am I saying? We have the three pillars of Horizon Europe, and essentially what I was saying is that I represent some of the clusters that you are seeing in Pillar 2. So we have three pillars under Horizon Europe, with Horizon Europe has a total budget of 95 billion euros over 7 years. It is split into Pillar 1, which is called Excellent Science, where we have several initiatives that are focusing on the development of the researcher's career. We find initiatives such as postdocs. Also, you can hire a PhD student with your organizations, and there are also let's say traveling. Okay, so you could network and travel to different organizations, learn from each other. So there are many interesting opportunities under Excellent Science, and it is quite a bottom-up pillar, which means that you come up with the topic idea and you apply it. Whereas if we move to Pillar 2, we have the clusters. So we have a total of 6 different clusters, starting with health, culture, civil security, digital industry and space, climate, and food, agriculture. And here the topics are top-down. So you have a team, and your project idea needs to reply, and you need to satisfy what the Commission is asking for you. For example, under the culture, creativity, and inclusive society, there would be a specific topic, for example, on the impact of climate change on heritage buildings. And there you have to, with your innovative idea, the Commission still leaves room for creativity, but you need to obviously make sure that you're working around climate change impacts and heritage buildings, for example. And a similar approach is applied to all of the clusters. And when it comes to the Horizon Europe missions, which is the purpose of today's webinar, you're not going to see the Horizon Europe missions written anywhere here, but we can find a lot of elements of the missions within the clusters, and we will delve into more detail later on. We have Pillar 3. Pillar 3, similar to Pillar 1, it's bottom up. So you have an innovative idea, it is targeting industry mostly, and you want your product to be launched eventually into the market. Then we have the widening participation, so the bottom one, and strengthening the European research area. We here are targeting countries that are widening countries. What are widening countries? They are generally countries that have joined the EU after 2004. So Malta is one of the widening countries, but as well, they are countries that their research and innovation landscape is not as advanced as other countries when compared. Obviously, when you compare, for example, a widening country with a non-widening country, which would be, for example, Germany. Here we have specific initiatives so that these specific countries can boost their research and innovation ecosystem, and eventually, obviously, boost up their ecosystem. They can get to learn from each other and eventually improve their the landscape. So we have specific initiatives for those countries. For example, you team up with another widening country on any topic that you would like, and you network and learn from each other. So there are so many initiatives under Horizon. If you don't have any idea under the specific clusters, for sure, there's something you can explore within other pillars and actions. But let's go back to the main focus of today, which are the Horizon Europe missions. They have been introduced as these 5 mission areas. We have one on adaptation to climate change, including societal transformation, one on cancer, one on soil health and food, one on climate neutral and smart cities, and one on healthy oceans, seas, coastal and inland waters. These missions, they all have ambitious targets up to 2030, and they want to tackle them, of course, via projects, via R&D projects, and they all follow the Horizon Europe rules, which we will also be touching a bit upon today, so that we warm you up for what the opportunities within the missions actually are. This is basically a summary for you to have a reference later when we share the presentations with you, but essentially it is what I've just said summarized in a slide. So we'll move on to the types of actions. We have 3 types of actions. What is the purpose of us knowing these? They are going to indicate the percentage funding rate. So we have research and innovation actions. These are actions that are establishing new knowledge. So the nature of the project will be quite basic research here. We are still kind of finding the state of the art. Everyone is 100% funded here. So you have profit and non-profit making entities. They are both 100% funded. And you're going to see the word TRL. TRL, we have a specific slide so that we can go in details, but essentially it is measuring, let's say, project maturity or technological readiness level, as we call it. We have innovation actions, so now we are moving on, and here we are looking more towards more innovation. We are closer to deploying something into the market. When we say deploying into the market, it does not necessarily mean that you're going to develop a product, but it could be, for example, a theory. And here, the EU funding rate is always 100% for non-profit organizations, but here, profit-making organizations are 70% funded. The TRL, so project maturity, is between 5 to 8. What does that mean? It means that the basic research is already completed, complete, and you need to take it a step forward and further be closer to the market, launch something into the market. So we are expecting you to definitely have some pilots, for example, here. And then we move to the coordinated and support action. So here we have actions that improve skills, they mobilize large-scale investment, and facilitate EU policy implementation. Here it is about knowledge sharing, organizing conferences, working on policy, and sharing best practices. Here we do not see the word TRL because we are not conducting research per se, but it is about, let's say, networking and building this community and learn from each other. There will be, for sure, some research elements, but it is not as R&I heavy as the research and innovation actions and the innovation actions. Here, everyone is 100% funded. On top of this, you automatically get 25% in indirect costs over all actions. What does this mean? It means that if you request 100,000 euro in salary, you're going to get 125,000 euro, as that 25% is an automatic top-up. This is done over all actions. Always make sure that you apply this to the appropriate EU funding rate that you are eligible for. TRL scale, here we are speaking about project maturity. So whenever you see the word TRL, technological readiness level, just make sure that you remember that it's a scale from 1 to 9, and the first 3 are mostly focusing on research. From 4 to 6, you're developing, you're piloting, and from 7 to 9, you are really getting closer to market. And again, this can be applied also to the social sciences, but it could be, for example, as I said, a theory. Moving on to the participation criteria. How am I going to participate? What are the minimum requirements? You need to be at least 3 legal entities from 3 different member states or associated countries. One of them needs to be established in a member state. In your case, since most of you are organizations established in Malta, you already have the minimum criteria of having 1 member state. But you need at least 2 more partners that are established in different member states or associated countries. Associated countries, there's a list. You go on Google and you type associated countries, it will come up, Horizon Europe, and they are treated, even though they are not member states, they are treated in the same way as member states when it comes to eligibility rules under Horizon Europe. And you may bring anyone on board. So what if you want to work with a country that is neither a member state or associated countries? You can bring on board anyone, but these partners might have and they are going to have specific participation rules. So for example, if you want to work with, let's say, Japan, who is a developed country, they need to bring their own budget on board. So they can participate. They either come in without budget or they bring their own resources on board. To be eligible for Horizon Europe, you need to register on the Funding and Tenders portal. And once you register, you will receive a 9-digit code, which we call a PIC number. As from 2022, gender equality plans, they are an eligibility criteria for only public bodies, research organizations, and higher education institutions. This is the general criteria. So when it comes to the missions, this is what applies. There are some other exceptions, such as the EIC Accelerator, ERC, MSCA, and CSAs, which could have some different rules. But in general, this is quite an important slide for you to know how you can participate and how you can be eligible. What is eligible? What are the eligible costs under Horizon Europe, and as well what concerns the missions as well? So personnel costs, you have salaries. You can also subcontract. So if there's an action that cannot be carried out by anyone, which is part of the consortium, you can subcontract it. You have purchase costs, so that means travel, subsistence, equipment, other goods and works and services. For example, you want to organize a conference, that would fall under purchase costs. There are also other cost categories. For example, financial support to third parties. What does that mean? It could be maybe you want to do a prize in your project. You organize a hackathon and you want to give €2,000 to the prize winner. That would go under other cost categories, for example. And then column E, which is the indirect cost, that is an automatic 25% top up. So when you're writing the proposal, this 25% will be automatically applied on all eligible costs. Take into consideration that, for example, subcontracting, you will not get a 25% extra top up on subcontracting costs because it is not something that you have carried out the work for. You have subcontracted it to someone else. So whenever you can, try to have the necessary and right partners to carry out the work within the consortium. But obviously, if it makes sense to subcontract, then for sure, go ahead. How do you find calls and topics and opportunities, and where do you find the missions as well? So we have the Funding and Tenders portal. You go on Google, type Funding and Tenders portal, definitely it will be the first link that will show up. And there's a filter, there's a search bar, and you can start typing in your keywords. For example, you type in soil mission, or you type in just mission only. And all the opportunities related will come up on the Funding and Tenders portal. Apart from that, you can also find partners on the Funding and Tenders portal and directly apply for projects from there. And now I will pass over the floor to my colleague Ian, who will be going into further depth on the introduction of Horizon Europe. In your hands, Ian.
Thank you, Tamara, and hello everyone. So my name is Xjenza Malta, and I am the NCT and Program Committee member for Health, the Cancer Mission, Research Infrastructure, Widening, and the European Research Area. Just give me a second just to upload my presentation. Okay, so after what Tamara presented, I will be presenting you the consortium composition as well as the cancer mission. How to find partners. So the missions might be a little bit, the community applying for missions is normally smaller than the one applying for the General Horizon Europe calls. So at least for the cancer mission, we find a lot of established networks applying for the same cause over and over, which makes it easier to hop onto a project, a proposal being prepared for a call. How to find partners? So the first thing is to use your personal network. So from the experience we've had, sometimes the most effective way of finding partners is to contact your peers abroad, and asking them whether they are applying for any particular call, and to kind of consider you taking them on board. Also, these B2B events, which are quite effective, I will send you the link. I will present the link at the end of my slides of an ongoing B2B event for missions. How to get involved? So get involved with the NCP network. So do sign up to MCST's social media, and register your interest through partner search forms, for example. Also, in the funding attenders portal, there is also a facility in each call page where you can register your interest through a partner search facility, which is in each call page, and also check the previous funded projects on Cordis. So basically, on Cordis, there is the full list of projects, which where you can see who had applied to the previous project, and if you find some common elements in the call, it could be that the same consortium might be applied for the call. Also, MCSC runs like a mini B2B and a mini partner search facility under the Plumtree portal, which is also run by the Xjenza Malta organization. So what roles can you have in the consortium? So a consortium always has a minimum of 3 partners. The partners come from EU member states or associated countries, but normally the size of the projects for missions is sometimes quite big. So it could be, you could have, for example, up to 50 partners per consortium. There's always one coordinator, however. So we have one coordinator who coordinates the project and is the main interlocutor between the project and the European Commission, the project officer. And then you have at least 2 beneficiaries. 2 beneficiaries, which are associated countries or member states. Then you have the work package leaders. So each project is split up into work packages, and then you have leaders for each. Personally, I like to be a work package leader in my role in a project. Then you have the task leader, which each work package then has a number of tasks to implement, and each task normally has a task leader. The role of the work package leader would be more or less to coordinate the work of the task leaders, to make sure that they are delivering on time, to chase up, and then to act as a kind of in between the task and the coordinator. There are various roles to be taken up in a consortium, but also in the organization. So when you register your PIC, each beneficiary would have, for example, a legal entity appointed to represent what we call a LEAR. The LEAR is kind of the main person responsible in that organization to sign off, for example, projects, to be the kind of legal representative on the project if something happens. Then you have the legal signatories. You have what we call an L sign, an F sign, which is the financial signatory, and the PACO, which is the participant contact, or the coordinator contact. And also, each project must have a project legal signatory. So this is normally at the level of the coordinator, and also a PF sign, which is the project financial signatory. So each project will then also have specific persons appointed to represent the entity in that project. So how can what is made up in so in the consortium you have various levels of participation. So as I said, you have the coordinator, the work package leader, task leaders, but then you can also have different types of partners participating in the project. You can have, for example, everyone, whoever is receiving money is a beneficiary. Okay, so whether it's the coordinator, whether it's the work package leader, whether it's the task leader, they are all beneficiaries and they receive money, they sign the grant agreement and have all the rights and obligations that come with the project. Then you have associated partners, which they do not necessarily have a budget, but it could be that the project already has maybe some money which can be allocated to the participation of the associated partners. They do work, but they do not declare costs, so they don't actually declare costs on the project. We also have affiliated entities, which is a legal or capital link with the beneficiary, which does work and may declare the costs. So it could be that, for example, an extension of Xjenza Malta, for example, could be affiliated with Xjenza Malta and affiliated to the project, and we assign some work to them and they declare costs on the project. There could be also third parties providing contributions. Normally, we see this a lot when we have countries, when we have partners or beneficiaries from third countries. It could be that, for example, you have a US entity coming on board, which provides contributions, kind of pays its own way, its own role in the project. It could be in kind, it could be that they bring money in terms of they pay their own travel, they pay their own personnel costs, etc. Normally, this is quite attractive to coordinators because it's a way of getting more money. So normally, these projects have a limited budget of around 3 million euros or more, and maybe the coordinator needs a little bit more, so he brings in third countries with their own budget who can do more work and bring more money to the project. And then you have subcontractors. So subcontractors are normally not in the original consortium, but they are mentioned normally after the project has started. The subcontracting costs are normally already described in the proposal, okay, and approved in the grant agreement. And then the subcontractor is only recruited after the project has started, because that normally goes through a procurement procedure. So that is how the subcontractor is then identified. The application form is quite standard also for the missions. So for those of you who have had experience from the Horizon Europe program, the application is quite similar. There is part A, part B. Part A is normally filled online, and this is it starts with the pick numbers, and then all the details start coming up. You will insert the people who are going to be involved in the project and the entities to describe. But then you also have items such as, for example, ethical questions, security questions, which need to be replied to by the coordinator. And then there is part B, which is kind of the heart of the proposal. And part B has this narrative part. It's normally submitted in a PDF. It's split into 3 sections according to the evaluation criterion. And online, if you go into the call page, you can find the templates of this part B and how and what to include in part B. So again, this I've already kind of summarized in my previous slide. So we have general information, participants, budget, ethics, and security assessment, and other questions such as gender equality, for example, GDPR, etc. For those entities who are public or universities, gender equality plans are mandatory to have for anyone participating in any of these mission calls. And then this is part B, the technical part, which, as I said, is split up into 3 sections. So we have excellence, impact, and quality and efficiency of implementation. So the evaluation process is quite standard. I won't go into too much detail into this slide. The most important thing is that you give the evaluators what they are looking for. So this is my main message here. Make sure that that you respond to all the criterion in the call, not some of them or part of them. If your consortium is not able to respond to all the criterion in the call, make sure that you find partners which are able to fulfill that criterion, because at the end of the day, this is what the evaluators see. The time to grant is around 5 months. Take or miss. But I believe for the missions it's a bit less than that. But generally we look at around 5 months, and then you have 3 months for the signature of the grant agreement. So complexively, maximum it would take 8 months. Okay, so now that is all about all what we had to say in terms of the general feeling of like the general issues that were required in terms of application, consortium, in terms of the structure of Horizon, etc. And now we're going to move into the individual missions, and I will start with the cancer mission myself. So cancer was at the top of the agenda when it came to grant challenges. Already, it had already started in the previous framework program, and it was strengthened in Horizon Europe. Basically, what the cancer mission seeks to achieve is a target that by 2030, more than 3 million lives will be saved, and having cancer patients living longer and better. This is a target which we are currently working towards, and which the cancer mission is trying to achieve through these goals. Uh, when we say cancer mission, we normally all the cancer related calls, you will find them only here. Under Horizon Europe, you can have areas where you apply for cancer related calls, but they are normally the bottom up calls. The health strand, which is cluster one under pillar two, normally does not tackle any calls which relate to cancer, because these are normally always given to the cancer mission. One of the transversal like important elements of the cancer mission is to ensure this equitable access to cancer treatment for all cancer patients, so across the European Union. So most of the calls tend to focus a lot on the peripheral regions, for example, more than they do on the cities, for instance. And it tackles cancer through 4 areas of action. So you have prevention, optimization, support to the quality of life, and understanding. This year we have 6 calls which are open. One of them is this Ancan.eu research data platform. This is more of a project at the member state level, because we are trying to create this research data platform, which will serve as a one-stop shop for understanding different cancers and for sharing information about specific cancers between the 27 EU member states. The second call is about supporting dialogue towards the development of national cancer data nodes. And again, here, this is just a coordination support action, which is trying to have a kind of standard at EU level for national data cancer nodes. Then one of the main cause under the cancer mission, in my opinion, is this accessible and affordable tests to advance early detection of heritable cancers in European regions, and I will explain in my next slide about this project, this cause. Sorry. Then we have the support programmatic clinical trial by cancer charities. This is a call directed towards charities, cancer charities, and it is one project of 3 million euros. Um, I believe in Malta we don't really have charities that actually undertake clinical trials. However, I still put it here because it's currently open in case there are any charities in the audience. Improving the understanding and management of late effects in adolescents and young adults with cancer. For me, this is also an important call because 6 to 8 projects will be funded under this call of around 4 to 6 million. So there will be quite a few chances and possibilities to receive funding under this call, and I will expand more in my next slide about this call. And lastly, an information portal on the European Cancer Data Digital Center. So this is uh, um, a call directed towards improving the patient's like giving more tools to the patients in their survivorship. So this will create a digital center aimed specifically at the patients. So as I mentioned before, I will delve into 2 calls. So one of them is this one, which is accessible and affordable test to advance early detection of heritable cancer. This is all about detection, okay? So basically prevention. And they are looking to validate easy to use, affordable, and accessible genetic multiomics or other biomarker-based cancer tests. They also want to stratify the population by sex, gender, age, and other determinants, co-create with end users. So always the involvement of citizens, health professionals, psychologists, etc., and again targeted regions because they want to see this equitable access to cancer treatment also in the regions. Um, they want to pilot and upscale genetic and multiomics and other biomarker-based testing for use of early for use in early detection programs, and also tackle GDPR rules and SSH. As you know, under health, there's quite a lot of issues when it comes to data and GDPR rules. So this seeks to harmonize a little bit in this area, the GDPR rules. And then we have the improving and understanding the management of late effects in adolescents and young adults. This is targeting specifically young adults, and there are 6 to 8 projects to be funded of 4 to 6 million each. So the possibilities here are quite big. They want to build on data which already exists or newly established as AYA patient cohorts. They want to develop, test, and scale up evidence-based screening methods for early detection of late effects. Develop, test, and scale up in real-life setting, and having these holistic approaches and tools, including digital tools, and optimizing cancer treatment for and follow-up regimens to prevent the late effects of cancer in young adults. New approaches and more focus on activities which go beyond central research on cancer. So it's like education, sports, nutrition, medical follow-ups, counseling, etc. And also the direct involvement of cancer patients is key, and survivors is key to this goal. So those are the calls that are to be expected under the cancer mission. One last slide, just to let you know that there is this B2B B2 match portal, which is currently an online brokerage event, which is currently active. I put the link here so that anyone who wants to participate in this B2 match to go ahead and register accordingly. I will now leave the floor to, I believe, Frankie, who will present after me.
Tamara, will you be presenting your areas first?
I can present my
Okay.
areas now. So I will go over the soil and ocean mission. So thank you, Ian, for your intervention. We'll be having a look at the soil mission and all of its targets that it wants to achieve by 2030. So what is the soil mission? Essentially, it is trying to fund these innovative projects so that by 2030 we have healthy soils. So that is just a very simple explanation I can give overall, but it goes deeper than that. And to achieve that, we want to fund 100 living labs and lighthouses by 2030. They will promote sustainable land and soil management in both urban and rural areas. So it is estimated that between 60 and 70% of EU soils are unhealthy, and that is why there was this urgent need to create a specific soil mission. The soil missions contributes to several sustainable development goals, the European Green Deal, and has a long-term vision of rural areas. If you go on the mission implementation plan, you could learn more, and there is some further insight on how this mission will operate. What is a living lab? What is a lighthouse? The target is to have these 100 living labs and lighthouses. A living lab is, let's say, an ecosystem where we have several different partners, land managers, farmers, scientists, NGOs, foundations, cooperatives. These organizations coming together in a real life setting, and they are creating this ecosystem, this community, to co-create together solutions for soil health. So living labs, they are tasked with having experimental sites. It is the soil mission, so we are working here with physical land. We need soil, we need to test these solutions. So each living lab are going to have a set of experimental sites, and out of these experimental sites, one of them or more could evolve into a lighthouse. A lighthouse is an experimental site, a piece of land. It could be a farm, it could be a forest, it could be an industrial site, urban city green area, etc. It is an experimental site which has proved quite a successful outcome. So they have implemented solutions and they have worked. They are of great example. So from the living lab, we have experimental sites, and out of those experimental sites, some of them get to have this lighthouse label. And also, a lighthouse could also be situated outside a living lab area. So there's quite some flexibility in this approach, but that is the difference between a living lab and a lighthouse. Living lab is a whole ecosystem. A lighthouse, a tested place which has demonstrated successful solutions. There are 8 soil mission objectives. In order to apply for soil-related topics, soil mission soil-related topics, you need to make sure that you have a look at the different soil mission objectives. So there are 8: reduce desertification, conserve soil organic carbon stocks, stop soil sealing and increase reuse of urban soils, reduce soil pollution and enhance restoration, prevent erosion, improve soil structure to enhance soil biodiversity, reduce the EU global footprint on soils, and improve soil literacy in society. So if you're interested in applying for a soil mission topic, make sure that you are targeting one or more of these objectives. There is also the Mission Soil Manifesto. This could be your first chance in actually tapping, in being exposed to this mission community. So if you sign the Mission Soil Manifesto, you could be a region, a municipality, private, public organization, association, anyone can, any organization can sign the Mission Soil Manifesto. Why sign? It means that you are taking a symbolic commitment that you want to protect and encourage healthy soils. And this soil mission manifesto, it is not legally binding, but you will be joining a community. You will be speaking up on the importance of soil health, and you will get access to first-hand access to knowledge on soil health. You will meet also a vibrant community, and this community you can team up together and also apply for soil mission calls. So only benefits can come out of signing the manifesto and being part of this community. Once you sign, it will be publicly visible, and it is quite good exposure for you if you're truly interested into protecting soil health, but also participating in the Soil Mission Manifesto. I'm leaving the link here if you want to learn more. The slides will be shared afterwards, and you can tap on any links that we have attached here. Now, the topics within the Soil Mission. The deadlines for these 9 topics are on the 8th of October. And the first 2 are focusing on funding living labs. So I have said in the previous slides, they have this 100 living labs target. And the first 2 topics are purely to fund the living labs. They will fund a total of 4 projects worth 12 million euro each. The soil mission is quite ambitious, and normal horizon calls, they start from 3 million euro, but when it comes to the soil mission and some other missions, they tend to be a bit bigger in budget as well. So the first one is co-creating solutions for soil health in living labs, and the second one is focusing on urban areas for soils. The third topic is towards a dynamic monitoring system to assess status and spatio-temporal changes of soil erosion at European scale. The fourth topic, systems to quantify nitrogen fluxes and uncertainties in European landscape. Fifth topic, soil health, pollinators, and key ecosystem functions. Sixth one is harnessing the multifunctional potential of soil biodiversity for healthy cropping systems. Seventh, development of high spatial resolution monitoring approaches and geographically explicit registry for carbon farming. 8, managing forest peat soils. And 9, assessment of soil health in Africa. Now, automatically, I said that there are a number of soil challenges that you need to tackle. If you're applying for any one of these topics, it will become natural that you're going to target some of those challenges. So make sure you have a great idea, an innovative idea, or some research that you want to do, and try to see how you can improve soil health via these specific topics. As we were saying previously, these are quite relative. I mean, they are a bit prescriptive. So once you go and read in the details, you can be very creative with your idea, but you need to reply to the context that you are set in. Some important resources. As I said, the missions are ambitious. They have these 2030 targets, and there are many initiatives that the Commission has funded. These are projects, initiatives that will help you in tapping the soil mission. There's the Prep Soil project. Starting with the Prep Soil project, this is quite an interesting project because if you go on their website, you will see a map of existing living labs and lighthouses, and this will help you in understanding what other countries have done. They have many other, it's a knowledge hub, they have trainings, workshops, they also have a mobile app, they also have videos of others explaining their experiences in it. So it has quite a number of features that are very interesting and will definitely help you if you ever are interested in applying for a soil mission project. The Nations project is focusing also on living labs and the creation of living labs. Now, the Nations project is slowly coming towards an end, and even the other one, but there is a continuation as well planned. It is essentially the Nations project is a messenger for the EU mission, and they do multiple activities. They are also doing country visits, and in fact, a few weeks ago, they also came to Malta, and we co-organized a workshop on living labs. They have a matchmaking platform, which is focusing on the living lab topics. So those 2 topics that I spoke first. This soil project, so this is, let's say, the next project. They are intending to continue on the great work as well that has already been done, and it has kickstarted this year. More, for sure, more toolkits and information are coming out of the soil project in the next months, but they will promote the network of the living labs and they will lead the transition towards healthy soils. This is quite important. It's the networking platform for all missions, so please have a look at it. And if you're interested in joining an existing consortium, definitely you have a look at this website and see if you can network your way into one of these very interesting topics. If you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand. Or I'm not sure if there are any questions in the chat, as I don't have much visibility of the chat now. I don't think there are any hands raised.
There are no questions either in the chat.
Okay. Thank you. So we'll move on to the next presentation, which is the Ocean Mission. The Ocean Mission has, again, the main target of achieving healthy waters by 2030. There are many cross-cutting as well activities that are pushing towards this target, for example, the Digital Twin Ocean. And there are also regional engagement and cooperations networks that say that. When it comes to Malta, there is the Mediterranean Sea Lighthouse. And these lighthouses, they serve as sites to pilot, demonstrate, develop, and deploy mission activities across CUCs and river basins. And you can access this via the links I will be presenting in the next slides. There's also the Ocean Mission Implementation Plan that you can refer to learn more about the details of the Ocean Mission. How will the Ocean Mission achieve this ambitious 2030 target? 3 main objectives. The first one, protect and restore marine and freshwater ecosystems and biodiversity in line with the EU Biostrategy 2030. The second one, prevent and eliminate pollution of our ocean, seas, and waters in line with the EU Action Plan. And in fact, the Mediterranean Lighthouse is focusing a lot on the second objective. And third, make the sustainable blue economy carbon neutral and circular in line with the EU climate law and the holistic vision enshrined in sustainable blue economy strategy. Similar to the soil mission, there is an Ocean Mission Charter. So the Ocean Mission Charter, you can sign it. It is non-binding, but any organization can be involved and sign and pledge towards having healthy oceans and seas, and that you want to take concrete actions to do so. By signing this mission charter, you get, again, access to knowledge. You can be involved in major mission fora and events. You get to be part of a community, and perhaps once you're part of this community, it could also help you to apply for ocean mission related topics. So I'm leaving the link here again, and this is the first step to participate in the ocean mission, let's say that. Moving on to the topics. There are a total of 7 topics under the ocean mission. Here we see different budgets, and the first set of 5 topics, the deadline is on the 18th of September, and the second set is on the 19th of September. So the deadlines are quite similar in that sense. The first one is European Blue Parks, offshore marine protected areas. The second is on Danube River Basin Lighthouse, protection and restoration of migratory fish habitats. Third topic, Atlantic and Arctic Sea Basin Lighthouse, Mediterranean Sea Basin Lighthouse, Baltic and North Sea Basin Lighthouse, and reducing the environmental impacts of fisheries on marine species and habitats. The fourth topic is Science for Community, building the marine citizen science data network of the future to valorize data coming from the ocean and increase engagement. Fifth topic, Our Blue Future, co-designing a future vision of a restored ocean and water systems in the EU by 2030 and 2050. Then we have another one, which is on community-led actions to restore our ocean, seas, and waters. And another topic on support for the coalition of waterfront cities, regions, and islands for Mission Ocean and Waters. Some important resources. These projects and initiatives funded by the Commission, even the ones that I presented previously for the soil one, make sure that you are going to synergize with them, or you're going to involve them in some way or collaborate with them in some way. At proposal stage, sometimes you cannot really say exactly how you're doing it, but some reference to this project is normally required for you to do so. And that is why I found it quite useful for you to have a quick snapshot of what these are all about. So, as I said previously, the Blue Mission MET project is focusing mostly on the second objective of the mission, which is prevent and eliminate pollution of our ocean, seas, and waters. And here they are providing technical services, governance, and business models to support and guarantee a sustainable socio-economic development of the Mediterranean basin. Enhancing synergies among different national, regional, and local initiatives, they mobilize key stakeholders, and they work hand in hand with the mission secretariat. They also are supporting the Commission to mobilize the uptake of the Charter. Digital Ocean Twin. So in the coming weeks, this platform will gradually open. It will be a data repository. You will have access for data in time and in space, from the coast to the open ocean, from ocean physics, biology, chemistry to sea ice. So it's quite an interesting initiative that the Commission is funding here, and definitely in the future, once it's fully operational, it would be interesting to have a look at the Digital Ocean Twin and see if you can be able to register and integrate your application within this platform. So as from September 2024, the platform will be opening to wider communities, and you can upload and integrate your solutions into the Digital Ocean Twin. Prep for Blue. Prep for Blue's objective here is to support the implementation of the ocean mission. They are organizing a series of pilots at the mission's demonstrator lighthouse sites. So they are also working with the lighthouses, and they want to create this co-creation approach to further push the implementation and uptake of the ocean mission. There is also the Mission Ocean and Waters Implementation Portal. It is a repository as well of quite useful knowledge. They are providing as well technical assistance to entities involved in the implementation of ocean-related projects. And they also offer financial advice, disseminate information. They also promote projects that have been funded under the Ocean Mission, and they will ensure a lighthouse coordination and synergy for the next set of deployment stage of the mission, which is from 2026 to 2030. So the previous ones, they are targeting the current first deployment, and the Mission Ocean and Waters Implementation Portal will coordinate the second deployment from 2026. As you noticed, we have been repeating this slide, but if you're really interested in finding partners for these opportunities, have a look at this B2Match website. I'm not sure if there are any questions now. So in that case, if there aren't any questions, I will leave the floor to my colleague, Frankie, who will be going over the climate and cities mission. Thank you.
Thank you, Tamara. Hello, I'm Frankie Borch. I work at the Framework Program Unit, and today we'll be presenting the cities missions topics. I'm also the National Contact Board for Cluster 5, that of Climate, Energy and Mobility, and also the National Coordinator for Cost. Here we're going to focus on the mission for adaptation to climate change. So the climate mission in brief. This mission is focusing on helping regions and cities and local authorities in knowing what the climate change related risks are and build against them. They will contribute towards the EU adaptation strategy by helping regions to understand better the climate related risk, develop systems pathways to better be prepared for these climate change related risk, and testing can deploy any related new innovative solutions for the betterment of society. In the climate change, regions are encouraged to sign as to form part of this climate mission, and the mission has a total of current 308 charter signatories, of which 2 are Maltese, and these are the Port region and the Eastern region. Together, they get the opportunity to get to know what each of these regions are doing, and take home whatever these regions are doing for the betterment of their countries and societies. The aim of this mission is to accompany 150 European regions and communities towards climate resilience by 2030. Of course, this has already been achieved since they are currently working with 108 charter signatories. But still, work will continue further to involve other regions which would like to continue collaborating with this mission. How can you participate in this mission? Joining the mission charter. By joining the mission charter, you will get the opportunity to get in touch with other charter signatories and also with organizations which form part of the Friends of the Mission. So if you are an NGO or a private organization or a research academia, and you would like to collaborate with these regions and helping them develop ways to help them contribute towards climate neutrality, then you can form part of this. You can participate in the climate mission through the Friends of the Mission. Regions, on the other hand, are encouraged to participate and sign the mission charter. The Mit4Adapt is the mission platform, implementation platform that supports EU regions and local authorities. For the charter signatories, further help is provided through the technical assistance provided from the community of practice. The community of practice involves all these regions, NCPs, and other institutions from the European Commission, which together help regions and those organizations to help them in their path towards climate resilience. So now we're going to go over some of the funding opportunities related to the climate cities. You have also a link towards the work program for the missions, which is on the side, and is located on each of these following slides that I'm providing. Each of these 9 topics, which you'll see, have a link that takes you directly towards the funding and tenders portal. So here we're seeing 3 of the first 9 climate-related mission topics. And the first one is a CSA, which is currently open and will close by the 18th of September 2024. One project will be funded, which will be of approximately 2 million. Topic 2 and topic 3 also will be opened till 18th of September. For topic 2, the Commission is envisaging one project of 4 million, and for topic 3, it is envisaging one project of 3 million. Topics 4 and topics 5, here we see that these are research and innovative actions too, and they will be opened again until the 18th of September of this year. For topic 4, we're seeing that 2 projects of 4 million each will be funded, and the same for topic 5. Topic 6 and topic 7, these are an innovative action type of projects. They are open again till the 18th of September. And for topic 6, we're seeing 3 projects of 9 million each. And for topic 7, we're seeing 3 projects of 7.5 million each. With regards to the last 2 topics, these are also an innovative and action projects. In topic 8, we're seeing 3 projects to be funded of 7.5 million each. And for topic 9, we're seeing 3 projects of 9 million each. As you've seen, the topics relate to various outcomes related to the climate. Some are discussing climate resilience, others are tailored to help regions and local authorities in developing solutions for their societies. And there is also some policy ones too. As we've seen with the soil and ocean missions, with regards to the climate mission, we have a project called Climax, which currently has an open call, which opened recently in July. And they are offering the possibility of a €300 lump sum per project, where this project will help public bodies and non-profit organizations to determine and establish climate risks related to their local regions. Then we have the second project, which is Pathways to Resilience. This was initiated through a climate kicks through the European Innovative from the EIC in Pillar 3. And the first call closed, and currently they are granting, they are assessing the proposals, and eventually they will grant them with the funding. And a second call will open in 2025. The aim of this project is to help region to support them in developing approaches to foster transformative solutions for climate adaptation. Moving here, as we've been seeing, this is the link to where you can find partners on the brokerage tool offered by the NCP4 missions. And it's currently open until the end of the year. So people can, anyone can register there and participate by holding meetings and collaborate with other partners by telling them their project, what there is, and how they will be contributing towards a particular consortium, or whether you are looking for any partners. If you have any questions, you may raise them now related to the climate mission. If not, we may move on to the cities mission. So, the climate neutral and smart cities. The cities mission aims to help the cities towards climate neutrality by 2050. The EU and the European member states are part of this Green Deal, and they are committed towards climate neutrality by 2050, with targets even before in 2030, which will register lower CO2 emissions when compared to previous emissions related to the 1990 levels. The European Union states that approximately the land area of the European continent is covered with cities, of which 75% of the citizens in the EU live in them. Cities on the whole consume about 65% of all the energy that is being generated in various ways, from electricity to carbon fuels in vehicles, etc. And 70% of all the total emissions are also generated by these cities. So the European Union saw that it is important for the cities mission to help and support cities to drive urban action and accelerate the green and digital transition to help achieve climate goals and also to mitigate against climate. The EU saw that the cities are catalysts towards contributing towards the Green Deal and the target of the reduction of greenhouse gases by 55% in 2030. So the idea was to develop the city's mission with the aim of having 100 climate neutral cities by 2030. And the cities aim to act as an experimentation and innovation hubs for other European cities to follow suit after them. So these will be like the pioneers in getting to know how to mitigate what needs to be implemented to help their society become carbon neutral. This requires the involvement, of course, of the local authorities, citizens, investors, businesses, national and regional authorities. So how can someone participate in a city's mission? The city's mission in the beginning, when it was launched, it submitted a call for the cities to sign towards their commitment towards this mission, of which 112 cities submitted their intention to be these pioneers, with the obligation to write a climate city contract, which is reviewed by the Commission and supported by experts from various European fora, including the European Investment Bank and the Joint Research Centre, with the aim of eventually getting the mission label. And by getting the mission label, when you've submitted your climate city contract, will entail various benefits eventually as the mission starts to expand into the forthcoming years. In order to develop the climate city contract, the net zero cities have provided a financial guiding tool, and there is a repository of the climate city contracts of previous cities which have submitted their climate city contract as early as 2023. Some funding opportunities in the city's mission. So the first call of two will see one topic, which is a CSA, which will support national and regional local authorities across Europe to prepare for transition towards climate neutrality within cities. It will remain open until the 5th of September with a total budget of 3 million and will fund one project. As of course, by the side, there's this picture, that's a link towards the work program for the missions work program. Then will be another call, which will have 4 topics, and these will be opened in 17th of September of this year and close in the February of 2025. The first topic is about rethinking urban spaces towards climate neutrality, and there will be envisaged 3 projects of 15 million each, and this will be on innovative action. The second topic will be zero pollution cities. It is a research and innovative action and will be funding 4 projects of 5 million each. The third project is a CSA, and it talks about mobility management plans and behavioral change. The same, it will be opened in September and closed in February of next year, and that one project will be funded of 5 million. And the final topic is integrating peri-urban areas in the transition towards climate neutrality. What are peri-urban areas? These are these gray areas within large cities, which generally consist of unused space, industrial areas, residential hubs, which generally are on the periphery of cities. And commute from one place to another involves the use of private cars, urban transportation, etc. So the idea is to help these regions within these cities to become climate neutral themselves. This is an innovative action and it is envisaged to fund 3 projects of 9 million each. Some additional requirements in the city's mission entail that the collaboration with one of the mission signatories, especially for topic 3, where you are required to collaborate with 4 of these cities' signatories. And for all topics, you need to have a memorandum of understanding with the city's mission platform, because your project will be providing results towards the mission. And the usual eligibility criteria for Horizon Europe are in place. Additional support or other funding opportunities may be found through the Driving Urban Transition Partnership. This is a public-for-public partnership co-funded by 28 European countries and the EU Commission under the Horizon Europe, and it is administered by 65 partners in this project. It has annual calls which revolve around 3 impact pathways, with an indicative budget for the period of 2022 till 2028 of 450 million euros. So the 2024 call is opened until the 2nd of September and opens in 2nd of September, sorry, and closes in the 14th of September. There's a link towards this call. There's a whole calendar of what is one envisaging of what will happen after. The 14th of September is the preliminary proposal stage. So if you don't make it on the 14th, you submit your proposal and this is not approved, there's no way to continue for this call. But eventually there will be other calls issued along the years as the project will continue until 2028. The 3 impact pathways are circular urban economies, 15-minute cities, and positive energy districts. Each will have 3 topics, each. What is a 15-minute city? 15-minute city isn't a bubble or something, but it's more about like this idea to help cities to develop neighborhoods that with these new urban, new climate mitigating measures and technologies that are better for the climate will provide citizens the requirement, the need that within 15 minutes they can be in various parts of the city without contributing negatively towards the climate. Positive energy districts revolves around the idea of having energy districts within a cities. In larger cities in the European Union and the European continent, actually, and even beyond, you will have energy districts where they will have like a community, a community plant, which either provides energy towards a set of households in that sector of the city, or it can also provide with heating or cooling towards those households. And this idea is to help these plants to become climate neutral, carbon neutral. As you've seen, there's the link for both to the partnership and also for the calls. Then we have the capacities. This is a sister project of the Driving Urban Transitions and aims in helping cities and local authorities and regions to collaborate together and share experiences. So here we'll see events being carried out by capacities and mayors for various cities meeting up and sharing their experiences and sharing what worked for them and what didn't work for them, what they're doing in their cities and how they are applying them for their communities, any help that is being provided by the businesses in their regions, and NGOs, and everyone is encouraged to participate in this project. As for the rest of the missions, this too can have the opportunity to participate in this networking platform developed by the NCP4 missions. As we've said, it's open till the end of the year, with the possibility of being open next year too. So you will find all of the missions topics, which we've talked about and we'll be talking about in the next presentation too. And it gives the opportunity for participants to get to know each other, transfer ideas, and most importantly, you publish your intention related to what kind of project you are developing and what you are requiring for your project. So it's either you are looking for a participant for your consortium, or you are a partner with good qualities that you can contribute to a consortium which has been developed, but is still requiring that partner in their consortium. If you have any questions, you may raise them now, and if there is nothing, we will move forward for the final topic of today. Tamara, you can take the floor.
No, I don't see any questions. So. I think my screen is okay. So
Yes.
For the final topic, thank you, Frankie. For the final topic of today, we will be discussing the new European Bauhaus. Now, the new European Bauhaus is not a mission per se. We are calling it a destination, and it does not follow the exact structure as the missions, but it is quite a recent initiative to further, let's say, it's quite complementing the existing missions, let's say that, and it has some quite cross-cutting areas, but it is a destination on its own. This is just terminology. At the end of the day, the new European Bauhaus still follows the same application rules and structures of Horizon Europe. So the new European Bauhaus was kickstarted, let's say that, I believe back in 2020 by von der Leyen, and it has quite caught on and has taken quite a stance, let's say that, in Horizon Europe. And it is surrounded by three main elements, which are sustainable, beautiful, and together. And these three words, you will find them, they will pop up quite frequently when you will read more on the European Bauhaus destination. And essentially, we are calling this movement the heart of the Green Deal. And it is bringing sustainability, aesthetics, but also inclusivity to our open spaces, to our buildings, to our landscapes. It is a bridge between the world of science and technology, art and culture. And it is about leveraging our green and digital challenges to transform our lives better. It will also be quite a good platform for co-creation and co-constructions of societal problems and as well our living spaces. So why is there this central focus on neighborhood and communities when it comes to the new European Bauhaus? Mainly for three reasons. Because results can be immediately implemented, and they are seen and felt at the neighborhood and community level. As well, the new European Bauhaus reflects a close link between circularity and renovation of the built environment. Whenever there is, let's say, a new building or a new construction site, it is the community that feels it at first hand, the neighbors, let's say that. And it also has the social and cultural dimension of places, because there is, of course, different cultural elements between the different countries when it comes to aesthetics of buildings, etc. As well, neighborhoods and communities are also the first to feel the quick impact. So they aren't only the first to feel the results, but they also feel the quick impact whenever there is a change. And they require an urgent need of action. And that is why the European Bauhaus is here. There are 3 topics. As I said, it is not a mission, it is a destination. So it is also smaller in size. And the deadlines are all on the 19th of September. The first topic is on exploiting the potential of secondary bio-based products. The second one is on new governance models for the co-design and co-construction of public spaces in neighborhoods by communities. And the third one is setting up of a new European Bauhaus hub for results and impact. There are several initiatives around the new European Bauhaus, and it is definitely a movement that we will be seeing in the future. So for now, the new European Bauhaus is sticking with us, fortunately. So the NAB Lab is an initiative from the new European Bauhaus movement, and it is going to implement, let's say, concrete actions to further push the NAB agenda, let's say that. They will do concrete actions via in a 2-way. So they will create enabling conditions for the green transition, such as new tools, frameworks, and policy recommendations, and they will trigger tangible transformation on the ground. How? They have already developed 2 levels, let's say, of implementation. They have developed the NAB Compass and the series assessment framework. What are these? These are important. I'm mentioning them because if you're interested in applying for the new European Bauhaus topics, you need to have some, let's say, background knowledge on what these are about. Again, as I said, the NAB Compass and the assessment frameworks, they are a labeling strategy on 2 levels. So when you are developing the proposal or you are interested in participating in a NAB project, there is this NAB Compass, which is a tool to help you in shaping your project so that your project really encompasses the values of the NAB, which are those 3 core values that I mentioned in the first few slides. And it will help you in tracing the path for you to have this NAB label, let's say that. This is mostly done as well at proposal stage, so it will really help you in writing the proposal. Even if you are not a coordinator, you are a beneficiary. Sometimes beneficiaries are also asked to write a bit their part of the proposal or to comment on the proposal. So it is good to have this background in mind. Once your project is funded and you have this NAB project in your hands, there are assessment frameworks. And essentially, they consist of self-assessment tools that finally, once you assess yourself, you can truly declare that your project is of a NAB value. So the NAB Compass can be used both at proposal and implementation stage, whereas the assessment framework, it is only relevant to use once the project has kickstarted. How can you start participating in the new European Bauhaus destination? You can become a partner of the NAB or you can become a friend of the NAB. There is a difference. If you become a partner, you have to be, you cannot be profit organization or public authority. So any entity except for those. Those can become, for example, other partners. So any entity except for profit organizations and public authorities can become official partners. So in this case, we are saying, for example, an NGO, okay, or a university. So partners will help our societies to create more beautiful, sustainable, and inclusive and urban and rural environments. By becoming a partner, similar to the other initiatives, you get to be part of this community. You pledge some actions that you want to take, and this is a platform that will help you in networking and knowledge sharing. And eventually, you can together also apply for NAB projects. If you want to become a friend of the NAB, this is the opportunity for companies and public actors. Regions, villages, cities are highly encouraged to become a friend, not a partner of the NAB. A friend, they represent a resource for the community, and they are willing to provide some form of support to the projects, and that is the difference between the partner and friend. And they may offer their catalog solutions to advance the initiative. There are over 500 official partners and friends as well. And the platform also supports networking, community building, and knowledge sharing. So that is all I have to say on the New European Bauhaus. Again, as I said, on the funding and tenders portal, you can find it's a wealth of knowledge. It's a good repository. If you type in the keywords or the topic titles, they will immediately come up on the funding and tenders portal. You are not seeing the slide of the B2Match networking platform here. As I said, this is a destination, but you can network for this topic via the funding and tenders portal. So if you find this topic, if you scroll down, there would be a number of partners that are interested in working on this topic. Now, you can also reach out to us as national contact points, and we can send a partner search to the network where we can assist you in finding any relevant consortiums forming around these topics. We are not, apart from these topics under the missions, more will open in 2025 as well, because obviously they have these 2030 target ambitions. So feel free to reach out to us. I don't see any questions here, but feel free to reach out to us. There will be more opportunities. These are the upcoming deadlines for this year. And even if you want to find partners, we can help you in doing so. I think we are really on time. It's 11:30. So if there aren't any questions, thank you for coming. You will get the presentations afterwards. And also this webinar is recorded and will be available on our YouTube channel.